Cash advance for business owners. Get cash quickly. Call 888-653-0124 today or click the link in the description to learn more. If you're looking for a quick cash advance for business owners, we've got you covered. Our online application makes it easy to apply for a loan without leaving home. We know how important time is to business owners, which is why our application takes less than 5 minutes to complete. Once you submit your information, we'll email confirming your application. Within 24 hours of submitting your application, you'll receive a decision on whether you qualify for a loan. We approve our loans within 24 hours of submission, allowing you to get the money you need quickly. When you're looking to start a business, there are a lot of choices to make. Do you go for an online store? A brick-and-mortar location? Or do you open a franchise? If you choose any of these options, you'll need to decide which option is right for you. While each has its benefits, they also come with their own set of challenges. For example, opening a franchise is great if you want to run a restaurant or bar, but it might not be the best choice if you want to start a small business. Similarly, going online is ideal for those who want to sell products, but it might not work for businesses that rely heavily on face-to-face interactions. That's why it makes sense to consider all of your options before deciding. In fact, when choosing between different types of businesses, it's important to think about how much money you expect to earn from them. This way, you can determine whether a particular type of business is worth pursuing. It can be difficult to afford working capital for small businesses. Working capital is money that businesses need to keep cash flow positive. This includes accounts receivable, inventory, and prepaid expenses. If you're running a small business, working capital may be tight. But there are ways to improve cash flow and reduce working capital needs. One way to improve cash flow is to pay down debt. Debt payments take cash out of the business, leaving less money available for operating costs. Another way to improve cash flow and lower working capital requirements is to sell excess inventory. Selling excess inventory allows you to use the proceeds to pay off debt, fund working capital, or invest in growth. Selling excess inventory can also help you avoid paying interest on loans used to finance inventory purchases. A cash advance can be beneficial for small business owners. If you're a small business owner who needs cash fast, a cash advance may be just what you need. A cash advance is a short-term loan that allows you to borrow money against your future paycheck. The amount of the loan depends on your credit score and income. You pay back the loan over several weeks or months, depending on when your next payday comes. When you apply for a cash advance, you typically fill out a form online. This lets the lender verify your employment and income. Once approved, you receive the cash within 24 hours. Some lenders offer additional perks, including free checks and a debit card. But keep in mind that these loans aren't meant to last forever. They usually come with a set term, meaning you must repay them in full within a certain period. While a cash advance isn't ideal for everyone, it can help you cover unexpected expenses until your next paycheck arrives. And if you use this strategy wisely, you can avoid taking out a personal line of credit. Loans aren't always bad news. If you're looking for a loan, there are some things you should keep in mind. First, loans aren't always bad news. They can be a great way to finance your business. Second, you need to understand the risks involved when taking out a loan. And finally, you need to find the right lender who understands your situation. When applying for a loan, you need to consider several factors. The most important factor is whether you can afford the monthly payments. You may not be able to pay back the entire amount at once, so you need to determine how much you can pay each month. Another important consideration is the interest rate. Most lenders offer variable rates, which means they change over time. So, you need to compare different lenders' interest rates to find the lowest possible rate. Finally, you need to consider the length of the loan. Some loans are short-term, meaning they last only a few months. Others are long-term, lasting years. Long-term loans usually carry higher interest rates than short-term loans. Once you've found the right lender, you need to ask them questions about your business. This includes asking about the loans they offer, the interest rates they charge, and the fees associated with those loans. You also want to know if they require collateral, such as inventory or equipment, to secure the loan. Collateral is often required to ensure that you repay the loan. Most times, lenders won't lend money unless they get collateral. Last, you need to ask about their repayment options. Repayment options include installment plans, balloon payments, and other flexible payment arrangements. These options allow you to spread out the payments over a longer time. Asking these questions helps you avoid getting stuck with a loan that you can't afford. But don't stop there. Ask about any additional services they provide, including credit counseling, tax preparation, and legal advice. These services can help you manage your finances better and save you money in the long run. If you don't pay back loans, you may be on the hook. If you're not paying back loans, you may be on the hook for them. That's because most lenders require borrowers to pay off any outstanding loan balances within 30 days of receiving the funds. If you cannot repay your loan, you may face additional fees and penalties. This means that if you take out a $5,000 loan at 10% interest, you must pay back $500 plus 10%, $50, in interest within 30 days. If you don't, you'll owe the lender the full amount plus interest. To avoid this scenario, make sure you pay back your loans on time. And if you need cash fast, consider taking out a payday loan instead. Payback times vary. One of the most important things to consider when getting a cash advance is the payback period. This refers to the time to repay the loan. The longer the payback period, the better. However, there are exceptions. For example, some businesses need money right now, and a short payback period may be acceptable. If you're considering a cash advance for your business, ask yourself these questions. How long will it take to repay the loan? What happens if I don't repay the loan? Will I be able to borrow again? Do I need this money right away? Is the interest rate reasonable? Can I afford to pay back the loan? Does the lender offer any additional services? Are there any hidden fees? These questions should help you decide whether a cash advance is right for your business. When you've applied for a cash advance, keep reading to learn more about the process. There are many options available to business owners. If you're looking for a way to fund your business, there are many options available to you. One option is to apply for a cash advance loan. These loans are typically short-term, usually between 3 months and 2 years, and are used to cover immediate expenses. They may be secured by collateral, such as real estate or equipment, or unsecured. Another option is to use credit cards to pay for business expenses. We often refer this to as a merchant account, and it allows you to accept payments online through your own site. Yet another option is to sell products online. You can set up an e-commerce store to sell your own products, or you can purchase products from third-party vendors. Finally, you can take out a personal loan to finance your business. These loans are typically long-term, and they offer better rates than traditional bank loans. Regardless of which option you choose, remember that you need to keep track of your monthly expenses. Otherwise, you won't be able to repay the loan when it comes due. You do not have to be a high credit score to qualify for these types of loans. If you're thinking about getting a loan, you may wonder whether you need a high credit score to qualify. The answer is no. There are many types of loans available to businesses, including cash advances, small business loans, and lines of credit. Cash advances are short-term loans that allow you to borrow money against your future paycheck. Small business loans are long-term loans that help fund your business until you reach profitability. Lines of credit are revolving accounts that let you borrow money when you need it. Regardless of type, most lenders require at least a 620 FICO score to qualify for these types of loans. However, there are some exceptions. For example, some banks offer loans to borrowers who don't meet this minimum standard. To find out if you qualify for any of these types of loans, contact your local bank or credit union. They should be able to tell you if they offer them and what your eligibility requirements are. There are many reasons why people need cash advances for business purposes. Call 888-653-0124 today or click the link in the description to learn more.